And the next one here, solving a percent mixture problem. The percent mixture problem's kind of like those value problems that we started out with, but this time we're working with percents. It says 2 factory plants are making TV panels. Yesterday, plant A produced 4 times as many panels as plant B. 4% of the panels from plant A and 2% of the panels from plant B were defective. How many panels did plant B produce if the 2 plants together produced 1,620 defective panels? So, starts off and says plant A produced 4 times as many as plant B. 4 times B. Those would be the number of panels. 4% of the panels from plant A, so 4% of A and 2% of B were defective. How many panels did plant B produce if the 2 plants together produced 1,620 defective panels? So 4% from A were defective, 2% from B were defective. That was the total of the defective panels. So again, this one we can solve by substitution since they said A was equal to 4 B's. We're going to go ahead and replace the A with 4 B's, and then we end up having to multiply that out. So 0.04 times 4 gives me 0.16. 0.16B plus 0.02B equals 1620. Both of those have B's in them. We're going to combine our like terms. 0.16 plus 0.02 would be 0.18B equals my 1620. And then, of course, all we need to do is divide. If I divide by my 18%, 1620 divided by 0.18 gives me 9,000. The question said, how many panels did plant B produce? B is what we found, 9,000 panels. Had it asked me for how many A produced, I would have had to go back up here and take 4 times the 9,000. So again, you have to be careful that you answer the question they ask. Just because you got to the end doesn't necessarily mean that's the one they want. They could be asking for the other thing. So pay attention to that. Something like that. 2 factory plants are making TV panels again. Yesterday, plant A produced 8,000 fewer panels than plant B. So if I'm looking at my total number of panels, what should I put in there for the number of panels for A and the number of panels for B? If it tells me A produces 8,000 fewer than B did. Okay, so A would do B minus 8,000, 18,000 fewer than B, and B is just going to have B, right? Doesn't tell us how many B had. 3% of A, 0.03, 2% of B, 0.02, were defective. How many panels did A produce if the 2 plants together produced 510 defective panels? So again, up here we're going to have to use our distributive property, 0.03B minus 3% of 8,000. What is 3% of 8,000? 3% of 8,000, if I multiply this out here, 0.03 times 8,000. $240. So 3% B minus 240 would represent the defective ones from A. 2% of B, 0.02 B, is the defective ones from B. We know the total was 510. So 0.03 B minus 240 plus 0.02 B equals 510 altogether. There would be my equation then. So 3% plus 2% would be 5% of B minus 240 equals 510. If I'm going to solve that, the next thing I would do is add my 240 to move it to the other side. So 0.05 B is going to equal, are you guys here today? 750. And then we have to divide by 0.05. I'm not going to do that in my head. 15,000. 15,000 would be the total number of panels from plant B. The question wants to know how many panels did plant A produce. So if I want to find the number from plant A, I'm going to take 15,000 and subtract the 8,000 because A did 8,000 fewer than B, right? So the answer to the question, 7,000. And the last one on here, Kira invested her savings in 2 investment funds. The 5,000 she invested in A returned a 3% profit. The amount she invested in B returned a 10% profit. How much did she invest in B if both funds together returned a 5% profit? So, how much did she put in fund A? 5,000. How much did she put in fund B? We don't know. We're going to put a B there, or whatever we want to put there. The percent on fund A, 3%, so 0.03. The percent on fund B, 10%, 0.10. Now this time it didn't tell us the total amount at the end. It said if both funds together returned a 5% profit. So we have to think about what both funds together would be. 5,000 plus B, since I didn't give myself enough room, is the total amount that I invested in my 2 accounts. 5,000 in the first one, B in the second one. The percent on my total was 5%. So 3% of $5,000 would be how much? 150. 10% of B, we'll just put 10% B. And then 5% of my 5,000 plus B. So again, here I have to use my distributive property. 5% of 5,000 is $250. So I'm going to have 250 plus 0.05 B for the total amount that I got from both investments. So 150 plus 10% of B is going to equal 250 plus 5% of B. And now I have an equation that's fairly easy to solve, right? So if I subtract my 5% B and subtract my 150, I'm going to have 5% of B equals 100, right? And if I divide that by 0.05, how much did I put in Fund B? $2,000. Which is what they asked for, right? So I only put 5 on this one because there are a lot of word problems, and I know some people have trouble with word problems and getting them all set up. But those will be the next 5 things on your pie chart. And we'll work on that